Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Dumas, and I'm the chairperson for the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce and president of Jessica Dumas Coaching and Training, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. On behalf of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to acknowledge that we're on Treaty 1 territory, home to the Ojibwe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene nations, and homeland to the Red River Métis. As we get started in our programming, I would like to welcome Chrissy Slater, who's going to lead us in a traditional drum song. Good morning, Chrissy, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, good morning, everybody. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Chrissy. We really appreciate you joining us and sharing that with us in our virtual AGM today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
This past year has presented several challenges, not only for us at the Chamber, but for our businesses and our community and our entire city and more. As much as today is an opportunity to look back and discuss the highs and lows of the past year, we're excited to share with you how the Chamber learned from these challenges and how we plan to move forward together. Today's annual general meeting is sponsored by CN. Thank you to Jasdeep and CN for your leadership and continued support in our business community. At this time, I'm going to invite Elder Betty Ross to say an opening prayer for us. I'm going to offer Betty this tobacco, who's here with me in the room. And Betty, I offer you this tobacco, and I thank you for your time, for being here. And I ask you to share a blessing for our meeting, for the work that we're doing, for the Chamber, for Raj Patel, incoming chair, Liz Choi, or incoming chair, and all our guests today. And I just want to thank you for that. Miigwech.
Tansen tuutemak. Nimineniten anuskagi chigishigaga peita metabok. Pesavenita manu magetatuskevinio. Kage na ginaw tagapi kan uskagi sige kita sa venita ko sige. Kues kita menupan ko magekon katus katameg. Utagay siyag. Ako ane, ako kami ni gawian sistema. Ngait na mo agi seman tu. Winate pinawag kita sa venimigoeg. Ano uskagi sige sigag. Miswege mami tunini sigan yogi ako amina kita sa ako. Kues kita pumute kita nagat siego taskig. Kapmute. Ako ni get mansitan. Good morning, all my relations, my relatives. I'm so honored to be here today, to sit with here today, as you start this annual general meeting. And we're going to offer the sacred tobacco to the Creator to bless each and every one of you for such a fantastic job that you do for our city, for the Chamber of Commerce. Now I will start in my first language, which is Cree. Agi seman to gananas kumitnanan uskagi tsigisigag. Mina pego gawaste na mawiyag, mina tato tipiska gawaste na mawiyag. Seman to pa usay ni mitnan da peisiga pawistawiyag. Anu uskagi tsigisigag. Kina kita sa ni matsigugoy. Kitinni mag utaka mamawitsig. Umene kata katus katagik Chamber of Commerce. Mina wagate ni ganskag na pewina. Minago kita panito to menu. Kaginawi kita sa venita gusit miswe, umamit ni sa kanuya uminaw tatsak. Kues kita muta tato menu guys minute. Awanapeo, pegaski mani magawin at taganopa tamo menu. Ako kutagiya ko tatuske, kues kita nstutagik. Kues kita ya mitutsik. Kaginagay ko ang kues kita menupanik, utagaste. Chamber of Commerce kahit sigate. Eko ni kakano patay kay Mr. Umenyo. Uta Treaty 1 territory kahit to aniwag. Eko sani kiseman to kimusit na hanus kahit sigisirag. Esa weni miek, esa weni taman huma at tuskewin. Mina tatu esa weni matsik Mr. Umamit to nini siganiwaw. Wiyawaw minong tasagwaw. Kaganagay ko ang kita itisi menupanik. Ito ni kinanas kumitnan kiseman to. Kagi pese wa sige tatus kay naganak. No kuminanak ni musuminanak. Wista o te pewichi wetsik. Umene pesa weni tagik. Ito ni kinanas kumitnan kiseman to. Umapmatsi yung gawiyak. Minenite nan tato pa kita tamuag. Minatato tamiag askik. Minasawe ni mikitipinoy. Nsawa sa misnanak. No seminanak ng tansko tapananak minoya winipisi. Mina kita minosik na mes kananan kita wastek. Mina gati si kiwya kita wastek. Kaya ke. Ego sani kiseman to kinanas kumitnan. Kisagi itnan kimamit simitnan. Kaya ke. Mina kaya ke. Amen. Ego sani. Thank you very much and have a wonderful meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, and miigwech to Elder Betty for joining us. We really appreciate your words and your blessing for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. For those of you who have not attended an annual general meeting before, here's a little bit of what to expect. We will have a quick business meeting before we get into remarks, the swearing in of your new chair, Shreeraj Patel, and your new incoming chair, Liz Choi, and our chair's address. A quorum of 25 members is required. President CEO Lauren Remillard advises that the quorum has been achieved. And so I'm pleased to call the 2020 annual general meeting of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce to order again, which I realized I had already done. The Chamber's general bylaw provides that at the annual general meeting, all motions must be submitted in writing and signed by the mover and seconder. Some members have been good enough to sign the routine motions. No others have been received by the opening of this meeting. And now to approval of the minutes of the 2019 annual general meeting. The minutes of the 2019 annual general meeting were made available to all members in the event confirmation pass emailed to you yesterday. I have a motion from Richard Rosen, seconded by Shreeraj Patel, that the minutes of the 2019 annual general meeting held at the Radisson Hotel downtown Winnipeg on Thursday, October 3rd, 2019, copies of which have been available to all members are linked in the chat, be taken as though read and approved. I would like to seek any discussion on the motion and conduct a vote via poll, via Zoom poll. So you should see that quick poll in front of you now. If you are in favor, please select that and submit. And just waiting for confirmation that the motion has passed. Thank you very much. Motion is passed. The annual report is available on the Chamber website and before you now. And I'd like to have a motion for acceptance of the annual report. I have a motion from Shreeraj Patel, seconded by Robert Cuthbertson Black, that the annual report for the year end June 30th, 2020, submitted by Secretary on behalf of the Board of Directors, copies of which are linked in the chat below, be accepted. Again, I'd like to seek a motion and conduct a vote. For all in favor, any opposed? And I'll await that response. Thank you. That motion has been passed. And now for appointment of auditors. I have a motion from Scott Sissons, seconded by Shreeraj Patel, that Deloitte LLP be appointed as auditors for the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce for the year end June 30th, 2021. I'd like to seek any discussion and conduct a vote via Zoom. Thank you. That motion is passed. And now to general bylaws. Currently, there are no proposed bylaws. Number 1, general bylaw of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce. So no motion is required. Thank you. Approval of financial statements. Our financial statements, which are included in the annual report, are available on the Chamber website and before you now. I believe that's been made available through the chat as well. I have a motion from Hippolito Albin Jr., seconded by Robert Cuthbertson Black, that the financial statements for the year ended June 30th, 2020, as before you, be approved. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our auditor, Deloitte LLP, who has consented to be with us today to answer any questions as they relate to the financial statements. I now call upon Mark Jones, partner at Olafson & Jones Chartered Professional Accountants, Inc., treasurer of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce, who will speak to this motion. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Jessica. Thank you all very much. I'm going to run through the financial statements, just very briefly, highlights, and as Jessica mentioned, if there are questions, I'm happy to answer them. My hope is that you're all not up getting coffee right now as the accountant talks. So I will start in the package with page 22, the audit report from Deloitte. I won't go through all of it, but once again, the Chamber has received a clean audit opinion, and Deloitte has issued the opinion that the accompanying financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the Chamber as at June 30th, 2020, and the results of operations and its cash flow. The letter also mentions that the statements are the responsibility of management and those charged with governance. Deloitte's job as our auditor is to render an opinion on those. Again, it's a clean and audit opinion, which is what we all want. Happy to answer any questions on that. If not, I will direct you to page 24 in the package, the statement of operations. This is also known as the income statement in the for-profit world. Just going to cover a couple of highlights and significant variances. On the revenue side, you can see membership dues is relatively consistent year over year. Our event revenue is down to $631,000 versus $909,000 in the prior year. I probably don't need to explain to anybody why our event revenue is down year over year. There is also an offsetting variance in the expenses, of course, in our event revenue and expense. Our advocacy line is down 83,000 versus 99,000. That is the cancellation, unfortunately, of our civic leaders dinner because of the pandemic. Occupancy down as well. There is some rent forgiveness from a subtenant that is occupying our space. The travel and other column is up $174,000 versus $157,000 in the prior year. Our travel portion of that is down $30,000 because of the cancellation of travel. However, the early childhood education program is also in this line, and that's provided some additional funds, and I'll speak more to that in notes upcoming. Overall revenue for the year, $2,296,000 versus $2,591,000 in 2019. Onto the expense side, you can see our administration cost down to $1,075,000 versus $1.24 million in the prior year. There's a number of savings that make up this variance, just ongoing cost savings, but there's also the wage subsidy program that's reflected in this line. In this line, and again, there's more detail later in the notes that I'll speak to, but in this line, there's a wage subsidy of $145,000 for the year. Our event line, again, offsetting savings from the cancellation of events. And on membership, the expense total $312,000 versus $364,000. There's a $53,000 reduction of wage expense for the Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy in this line as well. The other, no real other comments on any of that. Our total expenses is $2,123,000 versus $2,527,000 in the prior year. And so a surplus for the year of $172,945 versus $64,000 last year. Kind of not what, potentially what you may expect. In our surplus for the year, there are $200,000 in government program assistance. And again, I'll speak to that a little bit more in the notes. The cutoff of June 30th really is the reason for this. It's more timing. So many of these government programs, as I'm sure you all know, were a little bit more front-loaded, and the idea is that it will see us through to the end of this pandemic, hopefully sooner rather than later. But so the timing is part of the reason. This sets up the Chamber well to weather the continuing storm that it's going to face in the coming year. So that's really the reason for the timing. Were it not for that, and for a few other things, we would have shown a deficit for the year. Happy to answer any questions that there are on that. Seeing none. Oh, nope, seeing none. I will move to the statement of changes in fund balances. This is the residual surplus of the organization. Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce utilizes fund accounting, and you can see there the operating fund, our capital fund, and our capital reserve fund. as well as a restricted fund. The restricted fund was set up to celebrate the Chamber's 150th anniversary coming up in 2 years, I believe. I should know that. And you can see the inputs and outputs from all of the fund balances. No real other comments there unless there's any questions. On to the next page, page 26 in your package, the statement of financial positions, also known as a balance sheet. It is a snapshot at June 30th of the assets and liabilities of the organization. You can see there cash and cash equivalents, 581,000 versus 445 in the prior year. Overall assets of 1.46 million versus 1.292 million. No real comments on the assets. Down to the liability side, you'll see the significant variances in deferred revenue of membership fees. That's just a delay in the timing of the collection of membership fees. With everything going on, the normal collection and renewal cycle was a little bit off. So the membership fee deferred revenue is down. And then our deferred event revenue is up significantly because of the cancellation of so many events. Much of that money is held in deferral, anxiously awaiting all of us to be able to get together in person again. So overall, a very strong balance sheet. The Chamber is well positioned to weather the storm. The surplus that the Chamber has is an important part of any not-for-profit organization's ongoing sustainability and security to ensure that they can weather a storm, unfortunately, like the one that we're in. And I've just seen in the notes that the 150th year will be 2023. So thank you, Elizabeth. Statement of cash flows is next on page 27. That just shows the sources and uses of cash and for the Chamber. No real comments there. Even accountants don't like this statement, I'll be honest with you. But I'm happy to answer any questions that are there. Lastly is the notes of the financial statements. I won't go through every one of them. You're welcome. There's just a couple that I'd like to draw on. It shows all of the policies and a little bit more exploded description in some of the numbers that we have for the Chamber of Commerce. But if you look at page 30, at the very top, there's a note there about the government assistance that I talked about and the various programs that the Chamber has taken advantage of in the current year. And then if you go to page 31, there's two notes there that I'd like to point out. One is a managed program. The Chamber has entered into agreement with the province of Manitoba to administer an early childhood educators initiative. And there's a little more detail there on that program and the fund itself. And then finally, on note 9, the recent events, it just talks about the global pandemic and the potential impact on the Chamber is unknown at this point. You know, as things develop, I guess we'll see how it goes. Happy to answer any questions that there are. I don't see any in the chat. If there's none, I'd just like to say thanks to our auditors from Deloitte, led by Jeff Martin, who I know is with us today, for their work. Again, as always, they've been great to work with. This year, the added wrinkle of the remote work really added in some challenges for them. So we genuinely appreciate their hard work and their support. Also to the amazing Finance and Audit Committee, they are some of the best that the city has to offer. David King, Jeff Vilar, Craig Shutkowski, Nicole Murray, and Justin Chartrand, thank you for your work. And last but certainly not least, the Chamber Finance staff, Karen Weiss and Luke Cardalea. They have been rock stars for us in this uncertain time, and my thanks to them. If there's any more questions, happy to answer them. If not, I'll turn it back to Jessica.
Thank you so much, Mark, for your leadership in that area and for your continued work with the Chamber. If there are any other areas of discussion, please feel free to pop that in the chat. If not, going ahead for the motion, I'd like to conduct a vote in poll number 4, which will appear on your screen. Thank you. That motion has been passed. Thanks again to Mark and our partners at Deloitte LLP and our finance staff at the Chamber. And now to move into our volunteer awards. Each year, the Chamber recognizes a force that makes our city function, which is our volunteers. This year, we recognize 5 Chamber volunteers for their dedicated services. When I call your name, I'm going to ask that you please turn on your camera and your mic and say a quick hello. Before we acknowledge this year's volunteer award recipients, we want to acknowledge a very special group, our Small Business Council. The council was created back in 2016 in response to our strategic plan, where our members told us that they need more small business programming. A huge thank you to our outgoing council chairs, Amanda Bousset, co-founder of Coal and Canary Inc., and Peter Fair, owner of Gourmet Inspirations and Love Local Manitoba. We look forward to welcoming our newest Small Business Council co-chairs by Carly Minish, founder and CEO of Smack Dab, and Orellana, Chief Strategic Officer at GFit Wellness. So thank you to each of them. So I've been talking this whole time with my mute on. That's great. Let me start again. You can hear me? Okay, it was muted for 5 seconds. Okay, you heard me? Okay, thank goodness. So I would like to ask if any of those names that were just mentioned, if you'd like to come on and say a quick hello, you're welcome to do that now. Thank you. We'll continue on. For this year's volunteer awards, I would like to welcome and introduce Daryl Brown of Kissick Inc. The first recipient of our Volunteers of the Year award is for Daryl. Daryl is our Aboriginal Chamber of Commerce representative on the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Daryl is also a member of the Chamber's Truth and Reconciliation Advisory and was a key contributor to the development of Truth and Reconciliation Roadmap released in June 2020. In his role as chair of Aboriginal Chamber of Commerce, Daryl advanced the partnership of the Winnipeg Chamber, including our first joint after business mixer in conjunction with our October 2019 luncheon featuring Carol Ann Hilton from the Indigenomics Institute, which was a fabulous event. I love that one. Daryl's been a great advocate and leader within our community, and we're proud to present this award to you, Daryl. So congratulations and welcome.
Thank you, Jessica. Thanks, everyone. Tanzi Anin Watsier. The recognition from such a strong community and business supporter as the Winnipeg Chamber is very much appreciated. During the last 2 years, I was serving as the chair for the Aboriginal Chamber of Commerce, soon to be named the Indigenous Chamber of Commerce. And I observed and worked with the Winnipeg Chamber to strengthen all of our businesses in the community. The attention and support from the Winnipeg Chamber to our Aboriginal Chamber amplified my efforts, and together we were effective in building a stronger Indigenous Chamber. So ultimately, being part of both chambers was my honor and privilege. Thank you again to Lauren and your team. My very best to both of our chambers always, Ekose. Thank you. Here's my award.
Thanks so much, Daryl. Congratulations. Our next award goes to Amanda, I always want to say this wrong, I apologize, Bousset, Coal and Canary Inc. She's the second recipient of Volunteer of the Year award. And last year, Amanda was co-chair for our Small Business Advisory Council, and we had the pleasure of having her co-host last year's Small Business Forums, which are held quarterly throughout the year. Amanda was also one of the 2 chamber representatives on the Mayor's COVID-19 Business Task Force, which was established in late March. This task force was created by the Mayor to advise on the COVID-19 related impacts being felt by our business community. Amanda's company, Coal and Canary, was also a recipient of the 2020 Spirit of Winnipeg awards in the trade category. Amanda is a great example for our members and is a great leader within Winnipeg's small business community. Congratulations, Amanda, and thank you for your work.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. This year has been a roller coaster ride for all small business owners. I feel there's never been a more important time to be involved with our local chamber. In today's world, we stand on the shoulders of those who support us, and I just want to thank the incredible chamber staff who work so incredibly hard and give our small business owners a platform and a voice in our community. They've all been amazing and so fantastic to serve with the past year. And I would also like to thank my fellow small business council members. They've been fantastic, as well as other chamber members for a really fantastic year. And congratulations to all the other fellow award recipients. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Congratulations, Amanda. Beautiful picture, by the way. I love it.
Thank you.
The third recipient of our Volunteer of the Year award is Joanne Patinode of United Way Winnipeg. Joanne is one of our ambassadors and is actively involved, whether it's participating in chamber events, promoting the chamber, or acting as a resource for new and existing members. Joanne was the driving force behind our book and toothpaste drives for the State of the City and State of the Province address. You can catch Joanne with a huge smile on her face, and that's for sure, at pretty much every chamber event, and we're proud to have such passionate and driven advocate for the chamber. Congratulations, Joanne, and thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I'm having a real great difficulty with internet this morning. I do have a huge smile on my face. I am holding my award. So thank you, Jessica, Lauren, the small but mighty staff at the chamber, board members, fellow ambassadors. I do share this award with you. In my journey with the chamber, I've met some extraordinary people and made some amazing connections. I've grown professionally, personally, and I thank you all for that. Part of the reason why I continue to be such a passionate ambassador and volunteer is because the chamber recognizes that you can't grow the economy without supporting community. So on behalf of United Way and on behalf of our non-for-profits in this beautiful community, we thank you for hearing our voices. So thanks again, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Joanne. We can't see you, but we can feel your smile. Congratulations. Wonderful. The recipient of our Distinguished Long-Term Service Award is Claudette Leclerc of the Manitoba Museum. Claudette has been an active chamber member for nearly 20 years, a board of director from 2013 to 2017, a member of the Chamber Governance Committee in 2016, and a member of the Chamber Creative Leadership Council from 2015 to 2017. Claudette was also a member of the Chamber Board Nominating Committee, where she was very instrumental in modernizing our nomination process. During her tenure as CEO of the Manitoba Museum, she supported numerous chamber events and initiatives throughout her attendance and sponsorship. Most recently, she hosted the Chamber's Circles of Reconciliation event in the museum's expanded and renewed Alloway Hall. Claudette has served as a champion for the arts and culture community in chamber policy discussions. Claudette, we wish you the best as you step away from the museum and in the next chapter of your life. Congratulations, Claudette, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, terrific. Thank you very much, and congrats to the other award recipients. I just want to say that the Chamber is absolutely brilliant at how they engage volunteers, where we can provide our advice and support while benefiting from learning and networking at the same time. So bravo, Chamber. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you for your championing of arts and culture in Manitoba as an important industry to our community.
Thank you, Claudette.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. Our final award, Director of the Year, goes to Mark Jones, Olafson Jones, and Chartered Professional Accountants. Mark currently serves as Treasurer, Chair of the Finance and Audit Committee, a member of the Executive Committee and Board of Directors for the Chamber. As treasurer, Mark played a major leadership role in navigating the economic impact to the chamber due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And Mark was one of 2 chamber representatives on the mayor's COVID-19 business task force, which was established in late March to consider the COVID-19 related impacts being felt by the business community. He's a member of the Chamber's Economic Recovery Advisory Council, a member of the council. He provided input and guidance on the Chamber's economic recovery policy advice to all 3 levels of government. Additionally, Mark lent his expertise to provide guidance on the Chamber's presentation to the House of Commons Standing Committee on Finance regarding the federal COVID-19 assistance measures. He's a passionate champion for the Chamber and for our business community. Congratulations, Mark, and thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. I'm really honored to receive this recognition, but honestly, it's a testament to the great people that I get to work with at the Chamber. The Board of Directors, the Finance and Audit Committee, perhaps most of all the amazing staff at the Chamber, all stepped up in the face of tremendous uncertainty in their own business, their own jobs, and their own life, just to help our Chamber members and community as a whole weather this storm. Any one of those people is just as worthy of this recognition, and every one of them deserves the acknowledgement and our thanks for stepping up for the Chamber and for our city. It's been inspiring this year to have a front row seat to see how the Chamber's responded to support all of us in this crazy time. I've always been a proud member of the Chamber, but probably never more so than I am this year. So I thank you for this award. I'm truly humbled to be recognized and feel really fortunate to be part of this amazing organization. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mark. And congratulations again to all the volunteer award recipients. Big applause from all of us virtually. And now I would like to share a few outgoing remarks. Again, I want to say thank you to the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene nations and the Métis Nation who originally welcomed us to this land to work and to prosper. I want to say my thank you to Elder Betty Ross. It was an honor to have her here today to say that greeting for us as we start our meeting. I want to say a bunch of thank yous because this has been a wonderful year for me. I want to say thank you to Aaron Remillard, the CEO of the Winnipeg Chamber. It's been a pleasure working with you, and it's been a pleasure working with the entire staff. And I'm going to say everyone's name. Colin, Cindy, John, Ann, Aaron, Sean, Lisa, Saeed, Elizabeth, Ellen, Kayla, Jess, Karen, Lagarda, and Gregory. Without the staff at the Chamber, even with as much as the volunteers give, it takes all the people working together, and it's such an outstanding team, and anyone who has had that opportunity to work and engage with the Chamber knows that, feels their passion, and I just wanted to send a sincere thank you to each of you. I want to say thank you to our outgoing Board of Directors, and a thank you and a welcome to our new board members. And thank you to our entire Chamber membership, because the opportunity to serve has been wonderful, and without the support of our business community supporting our Chamber, we couldn't do the work that we do. So thank you to each of you. I hope that you'll agree with me when I say that innovation is impossible without change. And this past year, we were forced to make several changes that many of us weren't ready for. It made us change how we gather, how we support, and how we do business. But what I noticed didn't change was the importance of us wanting to find new ways to create a better city and a better place to do business. I will probably be talking about this for a long time, but this past year has been a wonderful highlight in my professional working experience. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to sit at the table or in a Zoom room with so many incredible Winnipeggers who really care about our community and who have so much expertise that they want to bring it to the table of the Chamber. Over the past year, we released a document called the Trc Roadmap. It's an opportunity to welcome others into the conversation of truth and reconciliation. And we do this as we figure out how do we make this a part of everyday conversation. And I truly appreciate how it was received. And I will continue to remain as a support and chair to that committee. to help navigate the continued development of that work, because even though there is work that is being done in many areas and in different sizes and levels and places, we're still at many ways at the very beginning. So there's still a lot of work to do. I also want to share that from my heart, I love how the Chamber strives to bring new and important conversations forward. This past year, we've had more conversations about diversity and inclusion than we've ever had before. I know with our new chair and incoming chair that those conversations will continue in a very heartfelt way, because we recognize as a chamber that these are really important conversations. And if we want the chamber to be a true reflection of the community that we serve, we need to continue to have these conversations. And if we want to see real movement in the changes of diversity and inclusion and diverse nations, and also diversity in LGBTQ2S+, women in leadership, we need to put our money where our mouth is, and we need to take action now and every day. And as I pass this virtual ceremonial gavel to our new chair, I'm honored to have served you for this past year as chairperson. I've continued to learn. I will continue to learn. I've had opportunities to share, and my heart is there to continue to support this organization. I did want to take a quick second to just share the gavel that I received. Usually we would be passing, I'd receive this, we take a picture, that sort of thing, but I received this in the mail. And I have to say that, you know, of course, many of us were really hoping that we would be able to do this event in person, and but we're all missing a lot of personal interactions. But it's a beautiful event. I'm so honored, and thank you so much for this gift. My name is engraved on it, so I'm just honored, and I just want to say thank you. And I want to say Raj Patel and Liz Choi, who have become great friends of mine. I have great trust in you. I trust in your leadership, your input, and your friendship. Congratulations to both of you, and thank you. With that, I would like to introduce Jasdeep Devgan of CN. Today's AGM is made possible through the support and commitment of community builders such as CN, who is our official event sponsor. CN is a valued member champion, and we look forward to our continued partnership with them in 2020 and 2021. And I'd now like to invite Jasdeep Devgan, Senior Advisor, Public and Government Affairs, to say a few words. Good morning, Jasdeep. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you, Jessica. I'm very well. And good morning, everyone. On behalf of our entire CN team, I hope you and your loved ones are doing well and are continuing to stay safe. CN is proud to continue its support of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce, particularly during these unprecedented times in which businesses are able to rely on the important advocacy work led by the Winnipeg Chamber. As we all face the challenging circumstances presented by COVID-19, our CN team is continuing to work diligently to serve our customers and deliver the critical products and goods our communities depend on. Through this pandemic, CN has remained essential to the movement of the economy, and our people are very much committed to playing this important role as we look towards the economic road to recovery. In this unique year, safety has been top of mind for us all. Safety of ourselves, our loved ones, our communities continues to be the most important focus. 2 weeks ago, CN and its industry partners observed Real Safety Week across Canada and the US. So if you can, please visit cn.ca/safety to learn about real safety and how we all have a shared responsibility in each other. So with that, I have readings from the province of Manitoba.
It looks like Jasdeep's Wi-Fi is a little
Anybody hear
insecure.
any of that?
We did hear most of that. We were just handing over greetings from the province. as far as I understand. Is Dennis Smook available? Is he joining us?
Yes, I am.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Jessica and Jasdeep. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of the province of Manitoba and the Honorable Ralph Eichler, Minister of Economic Development and Training, at this virtual AGM of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce. Over the past 7 months, we have seen business make rapid and necessary adjustments in the face of our current reality. On behalf of the province of Manitoba, I want to sincerely thank all the members of the Chamber and all of your respective team members for working so hard to keep our economy moving during these challenging times. COVID-19 has changed the landscape of our province, our country, and the world. The pandemic has rampaged through healthcare systems and ravaged economies here and abroad. The Manitoba government has $2.3 billion directed in COVID-19 response spending so far. This is the third highest per capita spending of any province in Canada. And yesterday, through our speech from the throne, our government unveiled our Protecting Manitobans agenda. This includes 5 guaranteed commitments to protect Manitobans during the pandemic and see Manitoba prosper after the pandemic. These 5 guaranteed commitments are: 1, protecting healthcare and vulnerable Manitobans with record new investments and initiatives for better care sooner, as we build even a stronger healthcare system for Manitobans today and well into the future. Protecting jobs and restarting our economy with new investment and business supports to create even more new jobs. Protecting your income by reducing the taxes you pay, saving you money and helping you keep more of your hard-earned income with you where it belongs. Protecting education and childcare by building a first-class K-12 education system with new schools, increased classroom funding, and more say for parents in their children's education outcomes and childcare choices. Protecting Manitoba's future by addressing today's priorities with an eye on tomorrow. Protecting Manitoba's financial, environmental, and energy futures by pursuing a careful 2-term balanced budget plan to eliminate the COVID deficit while providing strategic investments in healthcare, education, and families. The throne speech discussed the economic development landscape in our province, access to capital, tourism, and a coming skills, talent, and knowledge strategy. And as more details become available to share, you can be assured the Winnipeg Chamber will be kept apprised and consulted. We will continue to engage with all of our industry stakeholders, both through the Engage Manitoba platform and via the Minister Eichler's weekly roundtable calls with industry groups, including the Winnipeg Chamber. Our government has been taking action from the very beginning of this pandemic, and we will keep doing so. Once again, I thank you for inviting me to bring greetings to your AGM. I wish you all a good day. Thank you. And back to you, Jasdeep. My picture hasn't shown up, but I'm not sure what technical problems we had.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a picture here, Dennis, but I can hear you loud and clear, and I sincerely hope that everyone can hear me or heard me speaking before. So thank you very much, Dennis. I now will introduce His Worship Mayor Brian Bowman to bring greetings from the city and to perform the official swearing-in ceremony. Mayor Brian Bowman was first elected in 2014, becoming the 43rd mayor of the city of Winnipeg. Just checking if the connection is good. He was re-elected to a second term in October 2018, winning 53% of the total votes. Mayor Bowman is passionate about ensuring Winnipeg is a city that works for every citizen and is committed to building a stronger Winnipeg through openness, transparency, and accessibility. He is committed to developing a long-term economic plan for the future, improving infrastructure, and building safer communities to create a more innovative, diverse, and engaging city. Brian holds a Bachelor of Arts in History and Political Studies from the University of Manitoba and a Juris Doctor degree from the University of Toronto. Please welcome Mayor Brian Bowman.
Thank you, and can you guys hear me fine?
Hear you.
I just want to say thanks to Dennis for obviously being here. I'm thrilled to be with you as well. I remember this day fondly when I was sworn in as incoming and then chair of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce, and want to just say a big thank you to Jessica for all of her work, and congratulations. Of course, I know we'll do the swearing in a few moments. But what I saw when I was chair was a community filled with leaders and a community that really cares about our friends and our neighbors. And that's something I'm not surprised to hear Jessica comment on what she's observed as well. It was one of the reasons I ran for mayor, was because of I was just really inspired by the depth of leadership in our community. And so we've been asked to keep our comments to 3 minutes, so I'm going to be very high level. Obviously, I want to thank the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce for all of the ongoing work, community building work that the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce is providing leadership in throughout years. Certainly this year, there's a need for the peer support, for the advocacy and the community building that the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce, the staff and the board of directors help lead on. And this year they've done a great job. So I want to really thank and applaud each of the board members and the staff. Lauren, your team, they do great work, and they're always a delight to deal with. And I want to thank each of you, all those that are attending and participating in this virtual annual general meeting. Thank you for your efforts and your support of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce. It's one way in which you can participate in the community, and it's not only good for business, but it's good for our community. So thank you to each of you. There's been a number of things that we've been working on over the last year together with the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce, one of which is comes to fruition on Thursday, October the 22nd. That's, of course, the Small Business Summit. This is something I promised, was just mentioned that when I ran in 2014, I pledged that I wanted to try to increase the dialogue and the communication between the mayor's office and City Hall, as well as with the business community. And there's been a number of things that we've been doing over the years to increase that dialogue and to make sure that the chamber and the business community had a louder voice at City Hall. And I hope everyone feels that we've been moving in that direction. And I would encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to attend a small business summit in the past, I would imagine most of you have. I certainly encourage you to join in a couple weeks when the next one is being held. Over the course of the last number of years, we've had over 1,000 chamber members. This is over the last 5-year period, participate in the Small Business Summit. And I just want to say thank you. It's been really good for the city to hear from you. It's been good for the directors and the public servants who attend to have that direct line of communication with you, for them to be able to hear you, and it's really been invaluable. So thank you. I'll talk very briefly about the COVID storm that we're all in right now. I want to acknowledge and thank, of course, our federal and provincial partners in Manitoba Health, and our frontline workers and those that are working behind the scene are doing incredibly important work to keep our economy moving, as well as keep our city moving. And we're trying to do our best to support their efforts. Everything from making masks mandatory in all city buildings back in August. We continue to do that. We're requiring all of our employees that have city-issued phones to download the app that's been signed on by the provincial government. This is the federal app, and would encourage everybody to do the same. It will help with some of the related contact tracing issues that the apps helps facilitate, so that we can try to break the chain. And we're going to keep looking for opportunities, whether it's some of the innovations that we've been leading on, whether it's some of the AT moves during the storm, the patios, to a number of other ways in which we're trying to be innovative within the confines of municipal government. The chamber has really been a strong voice for each of you in just expressing what the business community is looking for. And so The storm isn't ending anytime soon. We know this is going to take some time until we're on the other side. But in the meantime, I want you to know that we're working really diligently with you and with other levels of government to do our part. Now, of course, one of the things that we do that I'm really proud of is we balance our budgets within a debt ceiling. We've just passed our first 4-year, multi-year balanced budget. First time in history for the city of Winnipeg. We're doing an annual update in the coming months, and we're dealing with some pretty big losses that are as a result of COVID, specifically with respect to transit. And I'm just going to mention that because it's incredibly important that public transportation is there in order to keep the economy moving, as well as to do it in as safe a way as possible. And so we're running a lot of buses that are not at full capacity. It's one way that we're supporting provincial and federal government efforts, and we're supporting the business community. And so look to see some of our efforts to bring our budget into balance in the coming months within the confines of that balanced budget legislation, which I think is a really good thing for all levels of government. With that, I just want to again say thank you to each of you for what you're doing in your businesses to help keep your staff and your customers and your community safe. And we'll be there to continue to work collaboratively with each of you along the way. Thanks very much for that. And I guess, Jessica, should I now go into the swearing in?
You can do that. Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
Mayor.
I was waiting for you to say, actually, you're muted. Maybe start over again. I'm glad you didn't. So yeah, I'll start getting in. And can I ask? I know everybody pretty knows each other here. Can I say Raj? Is that okay?
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay.
Raj is excellent.
Yeah, that's typically what I say. So when I saw the full spelling, I was like, okay, I always call you Raj. So okay. So firstly, it's an honor to help preside over the swearing in, and I'm really grateful that we're able to do this today, albeit virtually. That this is something we're able to do. It's a long tradition over many decades. So good afternoon or good morning, everyone. It's now my great pleasure to perform the swearing in of the Chamber's incoming chair and chair of the board. I'd now like to invite Raj and Liz to share their screens. Okay, well, we'll start with Liz. Liz, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I swear that I will faithfully and truly
I swear that I will faithfully and truly
perform my duty as incoming chair of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce.
perform my duty as incoming chair of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce.
Shall justly and conscientiously
Shall justly and conscientiously
execute my responsibilities so as to advance
execute my responsibilities so as to advance
the cause of prosperity for all,
the cause for prosperity for all,
guided by the mission, vision, and values of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce,
guided by the mission and vision and values of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce,
and the principles of leadership, integrity, and inclusivity.
and the principles of leadership, integrity, and inclusivity.
To this purpose, I commit myself wholeheartedly.
To this purpose, I commit myself wholeheartedly.
Thanks very much, Liz. Raj, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I swear that I will faithfully and truly
I swear that I will faithfully and truly
perform my duty as chair of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce.
perform my duty as chair of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce.
I shall justly and conscientiously
I shall justly and conscientiously
execute my responsibilities so as to advance
execute my responsibilities so as to advance
the cause of prosperity for all,
the cause of prosperity for all,
guided by the mission, vision, and values of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce,
guided by the mission, vision, and values of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce,
and the principles of leadership, integrity, and inclusivity.
and the principles of leadership, integrity, and inclusivity.
To this purpose, I commit myself wholeheartedly.
To this purpose, I commit myself wholeheartedly.
Thanks very much, Raj. It gives me great pleasure to present the incoming chair and the chair of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce for the year 2020 to 2021. And I believe you are now virtually going to exchange gavels. There we go. Congratulations. Thanks for letting me do this, guys.
Raj. Congratulations, Liz. Thank you, Mayor Bowman. Now, Shreeraj, or Raj, is my last official duty as chair of the Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce. It is with great pleasure that I virtually bestow upon you the symbol of the chair, your gavel, which I showed you mine, and you just showed us yours. Congratulations. I want to share that Raj is such a kind leader. It's been an honor to get to know him over the past year or so. He is fun, he's sincere, and I really believe that the best leadership are those who put their words into action. And I know that Raj already demonstrates putting that leadership into action. So thank you, Raj, and congratulations. I'm looking forward to this next year with you.
Great, Jessica. Thank you so much. And I know that you have your plaque there with you. But again, Jessica, it is a distinct honor to present you with your gavel. On behalf of the Board of Directors, I present you with this plaque, which proudly displays your chair's gavel that symbolizes your great accomplishments on behalf of all the membership. Thank you so much again, Jessica.
Thank you, Raj.
Elder Betty, I'm grateful for you joining us and sharing your prayer and blessings today. The ground truly shook for me to hear your words. Mayor Bowman, MLA Smook, Lauren, Jessica, Chamber Board, friends. I feel incredibly humbled to take on this amazing opportunity as the chair of the Winnipeg Chamber. I accept this tremendous responsibility at a time when our communities, our members, and our country is navigating a challenging and unfamiliar journey. The disruption caused by COVID-19 has been swift and fierce. It is far from business as usual. The forces of change continue to exert pressure in the form of economic, social, and human impact. As a community, we're having to be more fluid and nimble than ever before. But that is what makes Winnipeg extraordinary. I've witnessed firsthand the perseverance, drive, and commitment demonstrated by entrepreneurs across our community. I've seen Winnipeg companies leverage this disruption as a means for reimagining their business operations and how they go to market. I've experienced the ingenuity and collaboration across the Winnipeg ecosystem, and I've seen many come back better and stronger for it. That is why I'm so proud of the thought leadership exemplified by Lauren, his leadership team, and the board overall throughout these last 8 months. You've advocated and championed key issues impacting our members. You've ensured their voices were heard. You've done a masterful job of representing our members with key decision makers and leaders at the municipal, provincial, and federal levels. The Chamber's mandate to lead, connect, and grow is at the forefront of all your actions. I'm reminded of this every day through the Chamber's capacity for bringing a spotlight to issues and topics that need support and a community willing to rally around them. I'm looking forward to continuing to advocate, complement, and help amplify the Chamber's efforts. Jessica, you stomped out a path for others to follow. You've embodied the type of leader who has actively broken down barriers while helping others rise up. Your footprints are deep across this community. There are people across the city from every cultural ethnicity and background inspired by you, including me. The Truth and Reconciliation Roadmap will continue to be a powerful illustration of your impact and legacy. I'm honored to follow behind you. Inspired by your example, I promise to continue your example and create some new footprints for the next generation of leaders to follow. I hope you'll honor me with your continued guidance and insight in the year ahead. My parents were new immigrants to Winnipeg in the early 70s. My story begins with the opportunities created through their decision to leave their homeland. Their sacrifices and work ethic ensured I was equipped with every chance to succeed in their new home. I'm indebted to them for what they put in motion for my sister and I. As a child, my path was not clearly defined. and I stumbled more than I care to admit. Like many young people today, it took me quite some time to reconcile my journey and find my way. I feel a deep gratitude for my humble beginnings. I've learned to appreciate the struggles and recognize the important role they play in shaping us for our future purpose. My path to understanding my role and place here in Canada became clearer thanks in part to the many teachers, professors, and mentors who saw potential in me. I want to take a moment to recognize someone that has been instrumental to my story and also has a notable history with the Chamber, Preeti Mehta Shah. As a past Chamber Chair, she was indeed a trailblazer. At the time of her appointment, it was a seismic moment for our South Asian community. She helped frame what was possible for many of us as first-generation immigrants. I'm part of a generation born and raised in Canada whose roots span across the globe, and I stand on the shoulders of those who made the journey to Canada before us and often for us. Canada, and particularly Winnipeg, has this amazing, eclectic, and yet shared platform that allows the conveying of ideas, especially the idea that there's more that unites us than divides us, and that we are strengthened by our diversity. Gratitude is and was my way out. It fueled my aspirations. If we want to fulfill our life's potential and make our ancestors proud, we need to keep giving. We need to pay forward, and we need to give back. The pandemic has helped magnify how deeply interconnected we all are and must continue to be. Sadly, it has also exposed or magnified many vulnerabilities such as social inequalities and economic exclusion. In some instances, instead of words and actions that uplift and unite, we hear words that inflame and divide. We all play a role in identifying meaningful opportunities to dismantle prejudice in all its forms, from racism to homophobia to transphobia to misogyny. We can amplify our community's economic potential and capacity if we continue to confront discrimination, racism, and gender equality in our community and advocate for participation, inclusion, and belonging. By harnessing the power of diverse experiences and perspectives, we future-proof our business community. I believe that these are issues that are not problems to simply solve, but instead can be seen as the answer to many of our business and society's most complex challenges. We are being given a unique opportunity to purposefully and strategically rewrite the rules. Business theorists would often describe agility as the ability to fix the plane while it's flying. COVID has forced us to build resiliencies so that we can not only fix the plane while in the air, we are also building it. We have much farther to go, and we must get there together. And while we may not have it right just yet, because of the tremendous sense of community, resilience, and responsibility, I think Winnipeg is poised to lead. I'm often at a loss for words to describe the importance of my family in my life. My wife and my sons are at the center of my universe. Ruby, you're at the very center of all great things in my life. I'm grateful for everything you do for the boys and I. Much like this city that surrounds me and this chamber that has welcomed me in, Ruby never makes me feel like I walk alone. Winnipeg is a very special place, and the Winnipeg Chamber holds a mirror to what this city stands for. I'm humbled by the journey already taken. I'm excited for the journey ahead, and I can't think of no better city than to take this journey with than right here in Winnipeg. I look forward to being a champion for all businesses within our city. I look forward to collaborating with our board of directors to ensure we continue to be significant and a relevant voice inside the business community. And this above all, I look forward to honoring this city that has provided my family across 3 generations a place to call home with my unwavering commitment to prosperity, inclusion, and community. Because here's what I know to be true. With the Winnipeg Chamber at our backs, the potential is within us, the opportunities before us, and the future with arms wide open is welcoming us. Thank you, Winnipeg. I would now like to take the opportunity to introduce you to the members of the 2021 Board of Directors of your chamber. Incoming Chair Liz Choi, Education Canada Group. Executive Member Jeanette Montefiore, Moore Transportation Consulting Limited. Treasurer Mark Jones, Olafson and Jones Chartered Accounts, Inc. Past Chair Jessica Dumas Coaching and Training. And now the Board of Directors. Jocelyn Advent, M. Jardine Group LLC. Hipolito Albin Jr., Max's Restaurant, Winnipeg, Chandra Zarnecki, MLT Aikens LLP, Jessica Floresco, Mother Earth's Recycling, Vera Houle, Aboriginal People's Television Network, Barry Collinsig, Pride Winnipeg Festival Inc., Ryan Clausen, Bell MTS, Frank Koch Schulte, Edison Properties, Nathan Martins, Cunningham Business Interiors, Stephen Maynard, Bull Commerce, Jane McDonald, International Institute for Sustainable Development, Richard Rosen Funeral Director Limited, Lynn Skrmita, Winnipeg Folk Festival, and Etoile Stewart, Blueprint Inc. Past Chair, 2018 to 2019, Scott Sissons, KPMG LLP, and of course, Lauren Remillard, President and CEO, Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce. Congratulations to our 2020 to 2021 Board of Directors. It is now my pleasure to call upon President Lauren Remillard to deliver remarks, in particular details on our 2-year recovery and renewal strategy. Lauren.
Thank you, Raj. Just doing a check that I'm not on mute, because that wouldn't be a Zoom event if I didn't start on mute. But so assuming everyone can hear me, thank you very much. Thank you, Raj, and welcome, of course, and thank you everyone for joining us today. I'll begin by thanking CN, of course, for their support of today's AGM, as well as being a chamber champion from day one. You know, as business people, we know the vital role of transportation and logistics sector in our economy, yet the events of the last 7 months have really driven home this point for all of us. On behalf of the entire community, let me say thanks to CN for its incredible job in keeping the supply chain working, and in doing so, people working. Of course, special thanks to Mayor Bowman and MLA Smook for being here for this important day. Mr. Mayor, your leadership and that of our city and province through this pandemic has just been unwavering and greatly appreciated. To our board of directors, members, partners, volunteers, and staff, thank you for your commitment and your contributions to what has been a year for the history books. In our 147-year history, the Chamber has been privileged to have so many outstanding leaders serve as chair. Many of those leaders are found on names of streets throughout our community. This year, our chair, Jessica Dumas, raised the bar. For anyone that has met and seen Jessica in action, this comes as absolutely no surprise. Jessica, I know the year did not go exactly as we had discussed over that summer of 2019, and it's easy to look back on the year and see COVID-19. But as I look back at your year as chair, Jessica, all I see is a visionary, resolute leader at the helm, serving our members' pressing needs during a crisis while still having an eye to the long-term challenges that will exist post-COVID. The Chamber's landmark Truth and Reconciliation Roadmap is one of many examples of the fingerprints you've had on the Chamber that will be there for a generation. Jessica, the Chamber and our community are stronger today because of the road you walked and the one you laid before us moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me thank Jessica Dumas for an outstanding year as chair. Virtual applause. I do want to apologize as well to start. My dog's circling, so there might be a bark in there. As I noted in my annual report message, the past 12 months has been truly a tale of two chambers. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. I'll stop there, I promise. It began with Michelle Obama. It ended with a global health crisis and economic lockdown. While we continue to see our way through this crisis, it is the incredible resiliency and leadership of our members and the entire business community that inspires hope and belief that we shall persevere, we shall overcome, and we will rise. As we have since day one, the Chamber has been there for our members and our community at large, from bringing your voice and needs to decision makers at all three levels of government, to providing tools and resources to help you navigate this storm. While surveys were used, personal one-to-one connection with and among our members is truly the Chamber hallmark. During COVID, so far we've called 85% of our membership. Individual calls, one-on-one, to hear firsthand your challenges and ideas so that we could bring both that message to government, but as well shape our resources to best meet your needs in real time. While we are still working through the crisis and many of our members continue to face hardships, it is our members, your struggles, your needs, that is at the core of the Chamber year ahead and beyond. Led by new chair Raj Patel incoming chair, Liz Choi, and our entire board of directors. Congratulations, of course, to our new and returning directors, and to Raj and Liz on your new roles. Now Raj, listening to your incoming speech, having gotten to know you over the last few years, just listening to you now, anyone cannot be anything other than enthusiastic about the year ahead. You have such a passion for business in our community, it's almost tactile. So on behalf of our team, thank you for accepting this responsibility. We look forward to working with you, Liz, and in the entire board. And again, just knowing you, hearing you speak, the passion you bring, it is really a hallmark of the Chamber leadership, the women and men that have gone before you and that will follow you. It's what makes this organization so special, and the people that lead it truly remarkable individuals. What people may not know, though, and I want to share this, is just how in sync Jessica, Raj, and Liz are, and how strongly they truly embrace shared objectives, which really means a strong commitment and continuity going forward. Which leads me to talk about the Chamber's new 2-year renewal and recovery strategy. A special thanks to Liz Choi, now our new incoming chair, who chaired our strategic planning committee, and each committee member for their work. At the heart of this new strategy is the moral imperative that is diversity and inclusion. While of course this issue is by no means a new one, events south of the border, around the world, and yes, in our own backyard, have brought this about recognition that concrete, authentic action is vital and it's needed now. The Chamber has undertaken action, from support for Syrian refugees to collaborations with our Indigenous leaders in business, but so much more is required. The Truth and Reconciliation Roadmap, launched last year, remains a priority, with the goal of getting more businesses as signatories to the city's Indigenous Accord, and updates to the roadmap to empower and enable you to action your Accord commitment. This year, the Chamber will be piloting an initiative with Immigration Partnership Winnipeg to create a newcomer employment hub to better connect newcomer Canadians with the economic opportunities within our small and mid-sized business community. This fall, we will be announcing a major undertaking regarding our commitment to opportunities, diversity, and equity. It represents months of research, consultation, and collaboration. For now, let me say, this is more than a program, more than an initiative. It is something deeper, larger, something that we believe will define our Chamber for a generation and beyond. Our community, your business, and all Winnipeggers are going to be invited to take part and ensure that all Winnipeggers contribute and benefit from our city's abundance. Diversity and inclusion are essential to a healthy community. Supporting business through COVID and beyond is critical to a healthy economy. It is why our new strategy focuses our efforts on empowering you, our members, to weather, adapt, and thrive now and in the post-pandemic landscape. New programming is underway to provide tangible information and resources, everything from finances, e-commerce, marketing, communications, HR, mental health, and so much more. Central to this is our belief that we must do more than just rebuild. We must reimagine business and our community to become much more than we were before. In the coming weeks and months, watch for more from your Chamber as we embark upon a Reimagine Winnipeg campaign that inspires and enables. Reimagining is a recurring theme both internally and externally. You need to connect to clients, existing and new, more now than ever. We are adjusting, reimagining to deliver this connectivity in new and exciting ways. It begins with today's launch of our new Chamber website. The site has been reworked, redesigned, and reignited to provide more than a user-friendly experience, a more expanded resources to make our site the go-to site for business. As part of that, we will be reimagining our online directory into a virtual marketplace, an immersive experience that redefines what a directory can mean to your business and what it can deliver. For those that might not know, our online directory currently averages about 10,000 visits a month. We're gonna ramp that up with the virtual marketplace as it becomes the go-to place for business virtually. This is just a small snapshot of what's to come. There's so much more in store this year and next. In summary, the strategy speaks to the defining character of your Chamber, seeing opportunity to elevate what we do for you and your business. It's about charging forward, defining our own future, not standing pat and letting that future come to us in a passive manner. Our members expect nothing less. In conclusion, while we are living in a historic time, I want to acknowledge a truly historic accomplishment within our own chamber. In 1995, Karen Weiss joined the chamber as our public affairs assistant. 25 years later, she is our chief operating officer. But titles really just don't do justice to what she means to the chamber family. Through that time, she has seen us through many good times, and yes, a few crises along the way, such as the shift from paper to computer. If you can remember a time when you were a paper office. Of course, the Y2K challenge, how we thought the world was going to end at the stroke of midnight. An office relocation in the early 2000s. And let's be honest, what office relocation isn't a crisis? Today, overseeing our finances and operations. She's worked with 26 chairs, 100 plus board directors, 4 mayors, 4 premiers, 4 prime ministers. She's endured 3 chamber presidents and CEOs. Hell, she's beaten cancer. And if that kind of experience, wisdom, and tenacity on our team doesn't instill confidence in our ability to weather the storm that is COVID, I don't know what else will. There simply isn't a more knowledgeable, respected, and admired person in our office than Karen. Karen's never needed a title to get people to follow her. All she's ever needed is to ask. Passionate, dedicated, and accomplished, she's more than the bedrock of our team. She is the heart and soul. Karen, on behalf of all of us at the chamber, past and present, thank you for 25 years of inspired, invaluable, and incredible service to our community. It continues to be one of the great honors of my life to work beside you, and even more so to call you friend. Please join me in a round of applause for Karen Weiss on 25 years. Thank you, Karen. And with that, I thank everyone again for joining us today. Really excited for the year ahead. A lot of uncertainty, but we have an incredible team at the chamber, passionate, driven by mission. We have an outstanding leadership group at the board. And best of all, we just have an amazing business community that every time a challenge is being thrown on the table, they have risen, they have overcome. And I have no reason to believe that we will not rise to this occasion and emerge stronger for it. We'll have to work together to do that, but we invite all business to look to your Chamber of Commerce to be the place where you come together and say, okay, how are we going to get this done? Thank you. Back to you, Raj.
Great. Thank you, Lauren. And congratulations, Karen, on an outstanding 25 years. I look forward to what you'll do in the next 25. The next annual general meeting will be held in October 2021. Just a quick reminder that our next luncheon is coming up on Thursday, October 29th, with the LinkedIn All-Star Carrie Twigg. Carrie will walk you through creating and owning your business story. Registration for our virtual luncheon is free for members and includes one-on-one networking and member breakout sessions. Before then, and in celebration of Small Business Week, we'll be hosting our annual Small Business Summit with Mayor Brian Bowman on Thursday, October 22nd online. Like every year, registration is free for members and is available at winnipegchamber.com. Again, thank you, MLA Snook, Mayor Bowman, fellow directors, and our members for joining us today. I look forward to working with all of you in the year ahead. I now declare the 2020 Annual General Meeting closed.